253 DF Memphis, Flynn Broadcasting Stations.
It's time for Wolo and Friends on Sports 56 and 98.5 FM. Presented by Homer Skelton Hyundai. Here is your host, the voice of the Tigers, Dave Woloshin.
Good Thursday to you. Nothing major breaking today, but last night Denver was pretty darn dominant. They take a 2-1 lead in the series, and they regain home court advantage. And already, this is what I love about the reactions that people have over one game. So right now I'm watching in our beautiful studio here at the Flynn Broadcasting Center. We have television inside where we talk in our little booth. It's not so little. It's a good booth. And ESPN right now has, this is the Talking Heads thing on whatever, what is that show called? Wake Up? Get Up?
Get Up, with
Get
an
up.
exclamation point on the
Get
end.
up. So what do you think they're saying right now? Nuggets, the new warriors in the West? So are they basically the new dynastic team? Are they going to have this long run? And the truth is, they haven't won a title yet. This is the first time they got into the finals. They did get the series home court advantage back last night. They did look pretty good. There was history that was made. But I'm not talking dynasty till they win one. And they haven't won one yet. And I got a feeling Eric Spoelstra will do something different in Game 4. So far, we've seen adjustments all the way around. But last night, history. First off with Jokic.
Wait, so in your personal record book, like a team making that run every year, that doesn't qualify as a dynasty. You need to win the multiple championships.
You got to win.
I see.
It's not getting there.
So like the Celtics, they're not dynastic to you going to 6 conference championships.
No. Conference championship means nothing.
No, it means nothing. Okay.
Nothing. To be a dynasty, you got to win titles. Golden State is a dynasty. What do they want? 4?
That's right.
That's a dynasty.
Yeah.
4 in whatever years. I'll tell you, you want to know a dynasty? We got a dynasty going on right now that nobody knows about. This is an incredible dynasty. Oklahoma softball.
That's true.
Oklahoma softball has won 52 games in a row after beating Florida State in the first game, best of 3, Women's College World Series championship. So last night they win 5-0. If they win, it's either their 6th or their 7th national championship in 10 years. That's a dynasty. The Bulls with Michael Jordan winning 6 titles. That's a dynasty.
So like if the Nuggets were to make this run every year, Western Conference Finals, NBA Finals run.
The Chicago Blackhawks won 3 cups in 5 years. That's dynastic.
It's all about winning the big one.
It's winning titles. It's not winning a conference title. What, should the Grizzlies hang a thing in the rafters because they made the Western Conference Finals?
If they did it 6 of 8 years, I might be more inclined to say so, but no, not the way it stands right now.
You got to win titles. And you got to win the first one before you start talking. They need stuff to talk about middle of summer, apparently.
Wow,
on Get Up.
6 championships for Oklahoma. It's unbelievable.
I think they won 6 and 9, right? So
That's
this would
right.
be 7
This
in
would be
10
7.
years, and they're going to do it. If they win tonight, that's 53 in a row. You know what their record will be? I think it's already 60-1. They'd be 61-1 this year.
Last year they were 59-3, so it would be very difficult to improve upon that, and they might do it.
Well, they're going to.
That's right.
Even if they were to lose, they wouldn't. They because they're 60-1 now.
So 62.
So if they lost twice, they'd be 60-3.
Yeah.
But they're not going to. I bet you they win tonight.
And that means they host all these too, because I'm seeing the site, or maybe this is just where it is.
No, I think
it's in Oklahoma City.
I think that's where the Softball Hall of Fame is, because it's called Softball Hall of Fame Stadium.
Interesting.
So that's the home of women's of softball, college softball. So they do have home field advantage for sure. That would be like if Creighton made the World Series every year, because it's in Omaha. It's just the way it is. But crazy. So last night, history made. You realize that Jokic becomes the first player ever in a finals game to have a 30-20 triple-double. So he had 32, 20, and 10 last night. Wow. But what's even more impressive is for the first time in NBA history, not playoffs, NBA history, you had two players on the same team with 30-point triple-doubles. Because Murray had 34, 10, and 10. Holy mackerel. Think about that. The Nuggets scored 109 points. You had 66 out of that tandem.
Like you said, legendary for that reason specifically. It's unbelievable to see something like that in an NBA Finals game. Unbelievable to see. A lot of times you'll hear people talk about like all these bench players playing minutes in the regular season, and they say, well, when you get to the playoffs, these bench guys don't matter. But huge sparks off the bench in this playoffs from bench players, and last night it was Christian Brown with a huge spark off the bench in that third quarter.
I'm with you all the way on that. Brown, 15 points in 19 minutes, and Gordon, who was having trouble shooting early, stayed with his game, played great defense. When he was they were trying to switch off of him with Jimmy Butler. When Jimmy Butler was on him, they always set a pick to try to get him on Murray, a smaller guy. And Gordon was amazing. He's the one guy that can shut down Jimmy Butler. But he had 11 points and 10 rebounds, 5 assists off the bench. I mean, he had a double-double. They're deep. Bruce Brown is supposed to be a major player on this, or really Michael Porter? Terrible last night. And they still win by 15.
His body language in the first half was atrocious, and he didn't score great in the second half, but thank God they fixed that. I don't know what they said to him to get him to come out there with a little more energy, but he absolutely did in the second half. And like you mentioned, Aaron Gordon, very underrated. Aaron Gordon was a lottery pick. He was the number one player coming out of high school in his class, a huge piece to be the fourth best, quote-unquote, fourth best offensive option on this team, and certainly, like you said, the best defender on the team. Very underrated how deep this Nuggets team is.
And you take Bruce Brown, and then you take Chris Brown, spelled Braun, which Jeff Van Gundy can't seem to figure out.
Should be Braun. He's right about that. He pronounces his name incorrectly.
The family says it's Brown.
Yeah, they're wrong about that.
Oh, really?
yeah, I'm telling the family they're wrong about how they
I'm going to call you Herder. Then,
yeah, that's right.
Because I think it sounds better.
That's right.
Crazy. All right, real quick, because we are going to bring in Jack Sammons to talk college baseball real quick since we were on softball. SEC has done it again. 16 teams in the Super Regionals, 6 from the SEC. South Carolina and Florida, so one of those are going to get eliminated, but that means one's in. The same thing with Kentucky and LSU. So there's 4, right? That means 2 for sure get to the College World Series. Alabama's at Wake Forest. They're the number 1 seed. That's going to be tough. Tennessee is at Southern Miss. That should be fun to watch. So 6 from the SEC, 3 from the ACC, 2 from the Pac-12 and the Big 12, 1 from the Valley. How about Indiana State getting in? 1 from the Sun Belt, that's Southern Miss. And then 1 from the Summit. That's Oral Roberts.
Oral Roberts, the team of destiny. Wouldn't it be something if Southern Miss wins a championship and then 3 teams from Mississippi the last 3 years?
Oh, that'd be crazy.
That'd be crazy.
Yeah. I'd love it if it was Southern Miss against Oral Roberts in the championship. That would be the best thing for me. Finally, and we're going to talk about this now in a couple of minutes with our friend Jack Sammons, who's the general chairman of the FedEx St. Jude Invitational. Rory McIlroy yesterday put a different kind of light on all of this. And I've heard this from other people that are saying these negotiations are not like the LIV is taking over. It's the LIV was given up, and they have a lot of money, and so they want to give that money to the PGA, and that Jay Monahan agreed with that. But we'll see. I can't wait to get Jack's take on all of this. But Rory said, other than the feeling that he was a sacrificial lamb, the PGA is going to control all of this. The LIV Fund, the PIF, I shouldn't say LIV Fund because they are separate entities. The PIF Fund is what funds the LIV. Now, who knows if the LIV is going to be around? I believe Greg Norman did send out a release yesterday saying that probably after Rory McIlroy said he thinks the LIV is going to go away. But Greg Norman said we're not going away, but that's the first we've heard from Greg Norman. he thinks former players are not going to get right back in without a penalty. I don't know. Maybe they'll give some money or throw some money the way to the guys that were loyal, like Rory and Matsuyama, and even Tiger Woods, who was offered $1 billion. So we'll have to wait and see how all of that come out. And this, I thought, was surprising, but pretty big of Rory. He still backs Jay Monahan. He goes, I still believe in the commissioner. So there's still more to come out before we truly know what the heck is going on. We're sitting in the Family Leisure Studio. Don't forget to come out and play sale. That's happening through June the 25th. So you still have plenty of time, 3 weeks or so, to get a pool starting at under $2,500. Play Gym's now 30% off. Ask about the installation deal. Then there's patio furniture, a grand off. Same thing with spas if they're in stock. And special financing available with the new Come Out and Play sale at I-40 and Wooden Road, where Family Leisure is. And you know our title sponsor, it's Homer. Homer Skelton Hyundai in Olive Branch, Mississippi. Go see my man, Vinny Gerard. He's over all of the Genesis cars. They got a deal going on right now. If you agree to finance with Genesis, why wouldn't you? It's a great rate. They'll give you a $1,000 rebate on a G70. That's that luxurious, smaller sedan that's really a sports car. It's like a rocket. It's really fun to drive. All you got to do is get to Lamar, Highway 78, in the first exit in Mississippi's Craft Road. 15 minutes away, turn left, go see Vinny Gerardo. Chris Drew, he's over the whole thing. Tell him we sent you. You want the Genesis deal from the good folks at Homer Skelton Hyundai. Speaking of good folks, the general chair of the FedEx St. Jude Invitational first round of the playoffs this year is Jack Sammons. He joins us now. I know you had a little colonoscopy yesterday. I hope everything is cleared out nicely, and you're okay.
Stats excuse me, both. I got a thumbs up from the doc. He said, see you in 10 years. I said, you won't see me in 10 years, pal.
Yes.
I'm done with this stuff. At my age, I'll roll the dice on that one.
Well, no, you won't, because you'll have guys like me bugging you. Because you got to keep up with that stuff. 10 years, though. Hey, 10 years, is that's pretty good clearance. Most people your age got to wait 5 years and go back.
Well, I've studied hard for those tests each time, and I have been pleased to pass them every time. So that's all good. And nowadays we talk more about which doctors we go to than the good wine we're drinking or anything.
Or in the past, we've gone from wine and women to medical procedures. Yes. I got that. All right. Explain to me what the heck happened. Why do you think, Jack, and you've got more ties than anybody to the tour and to Jay Monahan, why do you think he did this 180 and merged with Liv and DP?
You know, Dave, Jay's a friend of mine, and I want everybody to understand that on the front end. I think he's everything I've known about Jay, he's a top of the table kind of guy. He's an honorable fella, and he works hard at what he does. Of course, he gets paid a amount of money. But when this came out, I got a text from a friend in California that said, can't believe that the tour is merging with Liv. And I wrote back, ha ha. You know, I thought he was pulling my leg. But from a split second, maybe I better check, and I Googled it. I just was staring at the screen I'm just incredulous. I could not believe that this is really going down. And there are a lot of theories of what might have happened, but we don't have enough information at this point, Dave, to make to create a definitive opinion that's, well informed. But at the end of the day, my real job, irrespective of my friendship relationship with the guys, executives at the tour, as well as players, my job is to raise money for the sickest kids in the world that are treated for free right here in our hometown of Memphis. And so I'm wearing my St. Jude hat every day and my FedEx St. Jude hat. It doesn't say PGA Tour, so I don't work for them. They're friends of mine, but I know Jay to be a very intelligent guy, and he didn't just do this cavalierly, and he's an honorable fella. It's not like they told him that there was a warehouse at Third and Calhoun full of $100 bills with his name on it or something. I've listened a lot to the guys on Sirius, the Golf Channel, and some speculation is it's like a poker game. You're playing a guy that's got unlimited chips, and you're winning right now, but your stack is much, much shorter than his. Eventually, that fellow's going to win, and it's possible that the tour may have just come to the realization, like, hey, in a war of attrition, we're going to lose. So we got to find a way to do this. Understand that Saudi Aramco is the largest corporation in the world as far as just net cash flow. Their daily cash flow is $1.2 billion. The annual budget for the PGA Tour is exactly the same, $1.2 billion. So, you try to compete in a deal like that. It's just bizarre. Now, who's to say they couldn't buy the NBA, the NFL, CBS, NBC, ABC, ESPN, et cetera, if they wanted to? I mean, they're just sitting on lots and lots of cash. They see the future of fossil fuels is probably on the decline, and they're looking to invest their money in other places. But, what does this mean for Memphis? I know we're going to have one of the greatest tournaments we've ever had, August 10th through the 13th. It's 60 days away. And I want to encourage everybody listening to come out and join us and see the top 70 golfers in the world, rated by FedEx points. They'll be here for 4 days, and then go play all 4 days. It's not 2 days and they have a cut, and then you have half the field. We'll have all 70. So Rory and those guys last year who didn't make the cut will be here on Sunday afternoon.
Do you think, Jack, that if there's a new league, because there seems to be a lot of confusion as to what the model's going to be, and so we're all speculating. But, I'm a worrywart. I've been around long enough to know you got to worry sometimes. And
sure.
You just talked about all that money. Do they need sponsorship money if they're going to pool all this $1.2 billion per day? I mean, they're going to say, well, we think the playoffs should be in Madrid. Do we have to worry about the Memphis event, do you think?
Well, I'm the eternal optimist, and I think they would be foolish to pull a Stanford Financial and tell FedEx, hey, we don't need you guys. We're big enough to handle this ourselves. That turned out to blow up their hand.
Right.
FedEx is the premier sponsor of sports, the most well-respected corporation on the planet. And I think golf will do all they can to maintain their alliance with FedEx. FedEx certainly does business in Saudi Arabia. They ship packages and receive packages coming that way every day. So, they will operate in a global environment. I think we are in the perfect place of where we want to be, the first round of the FedEx Cup playoffs. And, hey, I can't tell you what's going to happen next year. I don't know if it's going to rain next Tuesday. I can't worry too much about the future. We got to focus on the present. But does this give me a little anxiety? Yeah, sure. The Italians call it agina. I got a little heartburn about it. But I just believe that, good people prevail in the end, and we'll be fine. But, listen, our charity is one of the things we've done with this tournament, Dave, in the last 15 years. We've been able to help St. Jude become America's charity, and our goal the last few years has been, when we brought in World Golf, was to make St. Jude the world's charity. So people that are in Madrid or Copenhagen or whatever part of the world will have just as much of a emotional connection to St. Jude as they do their local hospitals, and realize that St. Jude is helping cure children around the world. I think we've got a great story. The players love coming here, and this is our oldest professional franchise, and it's one that I will, till my dying breath, do everything I can to preserve it for this community and for the hospital and for the kids. So it's, I'm disappointed, perhaps, that this went down. Shocked, yeah, that'd be another word. But my optimistic side tells me, hey, you got a new investor that's going to put a bunch of money, infuse money into the game, and maybe we'll have a bigger audience broadcast from Memphis. I don't know, but all I know is in less than 60 days, we got the top 70 golfers that are going to come right here to Memphis. And I expect you'll see a show like we've never.
Well, nothing's going to change in 60 days. We know that that's going to be a great event. It's going to be a first round, and the top guys on the PGA Tour are all going to be here. There's no doubt about that. And we got a little interesting dilemma, it seems to me, going on globally.
Yeah.
You're a businessman, and I just think out loud on this program sometimes, and I'm doing that right here. I do think that the commissioner came off as a major hypocrite, especially since he used a year ago the 9/11
victim.
Yeah. So he doesn't come off so good on that. But as you just mentioned, hey, the NBA, their portion of revenue that comes from China, which, by the way, is not so good on human rights, they do a lot of business with them globally. You mentioned earlier that FedEx does business with Saudi Arabia. That's not going away. We see that there is business going on, not just with golf now, but with every walk of life where, because we're a global economy, we are dealing with dictatorships. We are dealing with governments that are bad on human rights. I don't know what the answer is, but I think to survive, you've got to do business with these guys.
You know, I suspect if you knew how they built an iPhone, you know, that might offend you, but that's not going to make you throw your iPhone away. Who knows what those factories look like and, you know, how young those people are that manufacture them. I have no idea. But in a global environment, you know, we can't be, you know, we're not the global conscience, so to speak. You certainly don't want to do business with Putin or, you know, if Castro was around or somebody like that. But it's a global economy, and if you want to survive and grow, if you're not growing, you're dying. You try to, you know, through economic development and the freedom of information through the internet. I think there's, you know, the thirst for freedom grows, which will bring people more of the mindset to not want to be in a despot environment where you've got some dictator that has horrific rules that impact the quality of life of people. But at the end of the day, I'm just raising money for sick kids. And they're all coming to Memphis. And I've got people from around the country, or actually around the world, that are coming here as my guests. And I'm going to make sure they have a good time. And I hope I can give Rick Shadiak and his team the biggest check we've ever given. Has this last 48 hours rocked my world, Dave? Hell yeah. And I'm just, you know, my phone won't stop ringing. I'm getting texts, emails.
Have you had some people that have said, I'm done with this because of this deal?
Very disappointing. I'll tell you, some good friends of mine sent me, you know, one person in particular sent me a text and said, I'm done. I'm not going to give you any more money. I'm sending my money direct to the hospital. And, you know, that first of all, it hurt my feelings. One, because we don't know enough about what's going on to really have an opinion. And I just tell people, let's be patient and see how it works out, and be prayerful that it works out for the best. But, hey, we don't know. I can tell you that Jay Monahan, like I say, he's a friend of mine. He's a smart guy. He didn't just wake up and say, well, I'm gonna screw over Rory and Tiger and all these people that have been so effusive in their support of the tour and all that. Something was brought to light that he realized perhaps the survival of the tour was at stake. And, you know, he may be the fall guy for this. I don't know. I can't predict.
You're right. I think you hit it. It's a guessing game. We're going to find out more. I think Rory's comments yesterday were pretty enlightening. It made me shift just a little bit to at least give Monahan the time to get the benefit of the doubt. I got to let you go. I could talk all day with you. I'm glad you got a good, clean bill of health. And
Dave, you know, I'm not famous for having a filter. And I'm thrilled that today that I stayed within the bounds You and I can go see our donut buddy maybe and chat about this some more. But
you got it. I'm just glad you didn't cuss.
I didn't cuss.
Yeah,
let's all be optimistic and let's all come out to TPC South Win for the FedEx St. Jude Championship, August 10th through 13th. We'd love to have you. We're going to have a great time.
We're going to be out there. We'll be chatting in our little booth with you in 60 days. Thank you, my friend.
Amen, brother. God bless you, Dave. Thank you for having me.
That's our buddy. That is Jack Sammons. He is the general chair of the FedEx St. Jude Invitational. He's brought to you by Conway. You know how much I love that Conway tune-up because I have a system that never breaks down because I twice a year get a tune-up. $69 for the 16-point Energy Saver Super Tune-up. It leaves your system efficient, which saves you money on your MLGW bill. Also, it makes your system last longer. But the biggest key is I've never had a breakdown in the middle of summer where it's 95 degrees with 103 humidity rate, and my house is a sauna because it doesn't work, doesn't happen because I take care of it. I do the pre-medicine. It really works. 384-3511. Call my friends at Conway. When we come back, we switch to football. The Showboats in a must-win game. Their radio analyst is Russell Copeland, and he's right around the corner.
Start your day with Sports 56 Mornings with Greg Gaston and Eli Savoy. Weekday mornings from 7 to 10, right here on Sports 56 and 98.5 FM.
Looking for a new lawnmower? Golf Cars of Hernando has the Gravely line of zero-turn lawnmowers in stock, and they work on them. Looking for a new golf cart? Golf Cars of Hernando has Yamaha and Star brands of golf carts in stock, and they also service most makes and models of golf cars. Financing is available with applicable credit at Golf Cars of Hernando. Call today, 662-429-1566, 662-429-1566. Golf Cars of Hernando.
The Dell Technologies Summer Sale event is on with limited quantity deals on top tech. Save on select PCs powered by the latest Intel Core processors like Thin and Light XPS 13 laptops, Inspiron laptops, and 2-in-1s. Plus, get savings on select accessories, free shipping, and monthly payment options with Dell Preferred Account. It's the perfect season to power your passions during Dell's Summer Sale event. Save today by calling 877-ASK-DELL. That's 877-ASK-DELL. Offered to U.S. residents by WebBank, who determines qualifications for and terms of credit.
Pro Paint Days are here at Lowe's. Now through June 16th, Lowe's MVPs members can start earning 20% back in paint rewards via Lowe's e-gift card when you spend $100 or more on qualifying paint purchases. Stock up on top paint brands like our new and exclusive HGTV Home by Sherwin-Williams Spec-Rite Pro Interior Paint. Lowe's knows pros. Exclusions, restrictions, and more terms apply. See Lowe's.com/L/pro loyalty terms. Subject to change.
There are so many ways to buy and sell houses these days. How do you choose? Well, of course, choose the right way with Chet Whitsitt. Chet has over 37 years of experience as both a broker and a sales agent. He's helped lots of people buy and sell homes, and he will help you. It's the right way, and it's that easy. Buying, selling, or referrals, check with Chet at 901-484-5689 and Cry Like Realtors at 901-756-8900. Buying or selling? Check with Chet Whitsitt.
Now back to Wolo and Friends on Sports 56 and 98.5 FM, presented by Homer Skelton Hyundai. Here once again is the voice of the Tigers, Dave Woloshin.
The Showboats have a showdown with New Orleans Saturday, 2 o'clock, Simmons Bank Liberty Stadium. We're going to talk with Russell Copeland about that in a minute. He's brought to you by Ken Garland, Custom Home Builders. Ken and his dad for 60, almost 70 years now. They have built these dream homes, or they've provided land for dream homes, or they've done renovations. I call them renovations with innovations, where they take an older home and make it a modern palace. They've been doing it for over close to 70 years. It's pretty phenomenal. All you got to do to see that marvelous work is go to kengarland.com. And then I urge you to call Ken, 751-1632. He's fun to talk to. He's one of those rare guys. He's the little details, big picture, all at the same time. Perfect for a home builder. And he's going to work with you because he understands the commitment you're making. And he provides you with this absolute. You should expect it. Quality, on time, on budget construction. You'll love what you see at KenGarland.com. Go talk to my guy, Ken Garland. All right, so last week they go to Canton, the Showboats. Russell Copeland is there too with Eli Savoy. They made a visit to the NFL Hall of Fame, or the Pro Football Hall of Fame. I haven't been there in about 15 years. I don't think, Russell, you'd been there for a while because last time you were there was for an induction. Have they spruced that place up? Have they done a bunch? Like, I know some of the busts are like Walter Payton. Eli showed me a picture of the Walter Payton bust. It doesn't look anything like Walter Payton.
I think some of the busts look identical to the players, and just mentioning Walter Payton, it does not look like Walter Payton. But, Ed Reed, I like Ed Reed. It looks a lot like him. Jerry Rice. Randy Moss has the corn braids. But it's just really a great place to visit. When you look at the history, Dave, the contributions of all of the players, the coaches, the owners, the commissioners, it just has everything. Honestly, I could really go to that place and just stay for a week to be able to see all of the history. You just learn so much, and where the game is now, and you look at all the forefathers that put in and contributed to where it is now. It's just really a great place. And for me, Dave, just really honored and blessed to have played for Hall of Fame coach and Marv Levy, to be drafted by Hall of Fame owner and Ralph Wilson. Charlie Joyner was my receiver coach. And just to be on the field with Jim Kelly, Thurman Thomas, Andre Reed, Bruce Smith, and also with the Eagles, Brian Dawkins, the Packers, Reggie White, Brett Favre, and Leroy Butler. So just honored to have been able to play on the field with those guys.
That really is something. For you to be able to go inside Canton and that shrine and to see all those guys, know you played with them, that has to be a great sense of pride and fulfillment.
Absolutely, and not to mention my college teammate, Isaac Bruce.
Oh, yeah.
The University of Memphis, the only Hall of Famer. It's just really a blessing when you look at your career, you look after it's over with, and you see, what you have done, but you see the players that you've played with and how those players and coaches have been so instrumental to me after football. When I look at Marv Levy, just the organization for the Bills, the great players, the leaders that was on that team, and how it has really helped me as an adult after football has been over. So.
Marv Levy's not still with us, is he?
Yes.
He's still alive? Marv Levy's still alive?
Yeah. Absolutely.
How old is he? Gosh, he's got to be 90.
I think he's like 90, 91, something
wow.
like that. As a matter of fact, we a couple of years ago, right before COVID, we were able to go to a party in New York and sign some autographs and do some stuff. Myself, along with some other former Bills, were there. And he still looks great. And he still has his wits, believe it or not. He knew who I was, and he was telling me stories about returns and stuff like that. But he's a really smart, intelligent guy, and he looks great. He looks great.
The two guys that most impressed me with wisdom that I would watch, Bill Walsh, I got to really cover at a Super Bowl. First thing I ever did for Channel 13 in Memphis in 1981. That was in Detroit, where the Super Bowl was that year. But Bill Walsh and Marv Levy, to me, were the two most professorial, brilliant coaches of sort of my era.
Yes, absolutely. I think he graduated from Hartford, and just real intellectual, and the way he broke down the games from special teams, the touches, the possessions. And, you hear me say it all the time as far as the turnover margin. I learned that from actually Marv Levy, and I looked at it, and I look at it at games now, and he's 100% right. Usually teams that are winning the turnover margin, usually they have a winning record, and they're doing very well. So.
Well, since you bring that up, let's go to that game in Canton where the Showboats, again, had 3 more turnovers. One was one of the great interceptions by an outside linebacker. It just went up to try to, block it, and it stuck in his hands. It's an amazing story. Now they've won 5 in a row, and you're usually a pretty honest guy. Do you think, from all the teams that you've seen, I know you've seen them all, at least on TV, can the Showboats win the USFL championship this year?
Absolutely, absolutely. When you look at a team that has won 5 straight games and all 3 phases, this team is playing very well. We're talking about the turnover margin. This team is +5 in the turnover margin. They have an outstanding defense on all levels, from the defensive line to the linebackers, outstanding linebacker core. You was talking about the outstanding play that Greg Reeves was able to make, outside, jumps up and intercepts the ball right in the lane, right, just literally snatched it and intercepted that ball. So I've seen McCullough sack fumble for a touchdown, great interceptions by the secondary. This playing really good, have a lot of depth. This team definitely can. Special teams is playing outstanding, making a lot of long field goals, being consistent. I think it may be even 18, something like that, field goals straight. I may be incorrect on that, but just really playing great, Dave. Offensively, playing enough, make enough plays. I think that's the step for the offense to be able to score in the red areas, touchdowns, and to be more efficient on third down. And if they can pick that up, starting with New Orleans, this is the best team and the hottest team in the USFL.
Well, Eli was making the point earlier on his show that every week now is pretty much a playoff, because they have to keep winning in order to make the playoffs, to make the semifinals, and it starts on Saturday. Yeah, there's 2 things that have occurred to me on the offensive side that have gotten much better, besides the quarterback change in game 3. And that has to do with the offensive line. All of a sudden, they got a running game. Some of that could be that the first 2 guys that were supposed to be the running backs got injured, so now they bring this guy White in, and he's been pretty good the last couple of weeks. But I think the O-line has improved a bunch too.
The offensive line has been playing tremendous, and I think just having the continuity, having those guys healthy, and having 5 guys consistently starting and playing. But the running game has gotten better the past couple of weeks. Carriage White, a slippery back, has a lot of vision. He can take it the distance, runs well between the tackles, and also can get outside. Washington also is playing very well. So that's why I say with this offense, the offense is getting better. They're making progress. It's just about third downs. And once they get inside the red area to put touchdowns, if they can do that, honestly, they can win by 2 touchdowns each and every week, because that's how well the defense is playing on that side of the football.
All right. I just checked. The Vegas line between New Orleans and Memphis is a pick'em, even game. Wow. That is going to be so much fun on Saturday. I guess you'd have to think Birmingham has the best record in the entire league, right?
Yes, at 6-2.
So they're the team to beat. Is that fair? They beat Memphis before all these changes. What was it, 42-2? I mean, it was pretty one-sided.
Birmingham is the team to beat, but I think the hottest team and the best team that's playing right now is the Memphis Showboats. And still, you say this game is even. Last week against the Generals, the Showboats, who had won 4 straight, they were underdogs. So, when I look at this coaching staff, Todd Haley, and on defense, Cornell Lake, they'll have this team ready to play. They understand that they're not getting the respect. They just keep coming out and playing. And just speaking of Cornell Lake, we're talking about the Hall of Fame. What he's done with this defense has been tremendous, and I think that he is a future Hall of Fame. I mean, you're talking about a guy that was on the 90s All-Decade team, and he has that defense playing like Steeler football.
It is fun to watch. I mean, all these turnovers they keep getting. I don't know if they can keep that up. I'm just thinking in my head now. If they win, now they're 6-3. They've won 6 in a row. I guess the Gamblers could still catch them though, because they're also 6-2. So they still have to win. They absolutely still have to win.
The Gamblers are 5-3. New Orleans is 5-3, and the Showboats are 5-3. And of course, you know how many tiebreakers or whatever. If Memphis continues to win, they're in the playoffs. And of course, when you say you need help, they beat New Orleans. So now that's twice they've beat New Orleans. So they'll be up ahead of New Orleans. And if Houston loses this weekend, Memphis is right at number 2 solely by themselves.
So then that would put them in no matter what. If they win, Houston loses, I think and they would have beaten New Orleans, that would put them in the playoffs, even if they lost to Birmingham, I think.
And you know how those tiebreakers go. So it's so many, pluses and minuses that you have to look at. But if Memphis takes care of their business, and I'm the type of person as a player, just take care of your business, and the rest will take care of itself. If Memphis can win this game and win against Birmingham, then they'll be in the playoffs. But this is the most important game. Playing against New Orleans, a really good football team. Even though they've lost 3 out of the last 4, they still look like the team when Memphis had won 1 straight, and then they beat an undefeated New Orleans team in Birmingham. Really, that's what really got the ball moving. When you look at turnovers, they were able to get 3 turnovers against New Orleans. And it's a really good team. I love their offense. I love McLeod Bethel-Thompson. He's played a lot of football, played for 5 different NFL teams, won 2 championships in the Grey Cup with Toronto in 17 and 2022. So well-balanced team, solid defense. Memphis is going to have to play the type of football they've played over the past 4 or 5 weeks in order to beat New Orleans.
All right, real quick, NFL, DeAndre Hopkins, we talked a bit about him. Now a free agent. He visited the Tennessee Titans, I think, yesterday. That would be a good fit for him, or at least for Titans fans. They would think that would give him another weapon, help out their quarterback. Where do you think DeAndre Hopkins is going to end up? Could he be in Nashville?
Well, of course, for the Titans, it would be good to have him. I just don't think he's a good fit for him in his career. He's older in his career. He wants to win a championship. He wants to be with a quarterback that is a solidified quarterback, that's a Pro Bowl type of quarterback. He said that I'm looking at somewhere like the Buffalo Bills, the Kansas City Chiefs, or maybe even the Philadelphia Eagles. But I do not think that he'll sign with the Tennessee Titans. I think he's visiting them, but I really don't think he'll sign with them.
He's Russell Copeland. You can see him Saturday at Simmons Bank Liberty Stadium as the Boats see what they can do to stay in the playoff race. Thank you, my friend. We appreciate it, and we'll talk to you next Thursday.
Thank you, Dave.
It's Russell Copeland. He's brought to you in part by Miramichi. What a day to go out and play Miramichi. And look, people know about Miramichi now. They sold out on the memberships. You can get on a waiting list now, but there are no more memberships that were so cool. But they are doing this for all the people that want to come out. You go prime time in the morning, it's going to cost you one thing. $10 cheaper if you go from noon to 3. From 3 after that, $13 cheaper. It's a deal. All you got to do is get to Woodstock. It's 12 minutes north of downtown to see what I think is one of the great daily fee golf courses around. Great practice facilities, unbelievable driving range, and always friendly folks that'll take care of you. Again, the course is gorgeous. The back 9 is like a walk in the woods with a meandering stream and a waterfall. And competition. 5 different tee boxes make it really tough or really enjoyable, depending on which way you want to go. I guarantee you this, you want to go to Miramichi. We pause for a second, back in just a minute.
We are real sports talk. Sports 56 WHBQ. Available on your radio dial at 560 AM and 98.5 FM, as well as around the world online at sports56whbq.com. Take us with you everywhere by downloading the Sports 56 app. And at home, just say, Alexa, play Sports 56. Wherever you are, stay tuned in to Real Sports Talk. Sports 56 and 98.5 FM.
Hi, folks. Good news from the Chevy Sheriff for truck buyers. It's truck month at the Sunrise Chevy Ranch. Rebates up to $2,000 and discounts high as $7,000. Bankrupt, slow pay, bad credit? It's okay. Sunrise specializes in secondary financing. Need a good used truck? Remember, Sunrise Chevy specializes in used cars and trucks under $15,000. Chevy trucks cost less at the Sunrise Chevy Ranch, partner. Find new roads to 385 in Houston, Levy, and Collierville. Check out the all-new Sunrise Truck Corral. Huge selection of nothing but trucks. All makes, all models, all prices, all trucks, all the time. Next to Sunrise Wolf Chase.
Hot wings. What's your favorite flavor? The Crazy Coop has 27 delicious flavors to choose from and counting, like the Buffalo Ranch, a perfect combo of ranch seasoning with a little kick. Mango habanero, sweet taste of mango followed by the heat. Or sweet maple bourbon. The taste will remind you of chicken and waffles. And that's just 3 of the amazing 27 chicken wing seasonings that you can get at the Crazy Coop in Bartlett at 7199 Stage Road, and now open the Crazy Coop Express at 1315 Ridgeway off Poplar. Some like it hot. How about the Crazy Sweet Lemon Pepper Hot or Crazy Suicide? Can't take the heat? Get the 4-cheese roasted garlic or barbecue bacon bourbon. How's this for a Crazy Coop special? Choose between 3 whole wings or 6 party wings, 1 seasoning, regular fry, and drink for $9.99. Now, those are crazy good prices. The Crazy Coop. 2 locations, 7199 Highway 64 between Atlin and Kirby Whitten and 1315 Ridgeway off Poplar. Family owned and operated. The Crazy Coop.
Anywhere fans go to cheer on their team, there are behind-the-scenes MVPs, ensuring everything is game day ready. We see you, Joe, fixing seats so every fan can enjoy every game. And Allie, who keeps her stadium running smoothly from the moment the first game starts to the last play of the season. At Grainger, you're our MVPs, and we're always here for you with supplies and solutions for every industry and 24/7 customer support. Call, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Nestled in the heart of East Memphis, located corner of Park and Cherry, is a beautiful residential neighborhood. I'm here at Town Village Audubon Park interviewing a new resident, Carolyn. Share with us why you chose Town Village.
Well, if your parents or special friends need to make that big move, let me share with you my experience. It was tough for me to leave home, but then I discovered Town Village. I would like to highly recommend Town Village to you and your loved ones. After looking at all the amenities and meeting all the people and staff, I was hooked. From restaurant, bistro, 3 meals per day, housekeeping, transportation, security, health care, physical therapy, exercise room, and even a heated pool and spa. Come see us and make your new home at Town Village.
Visit us and call Daniel at Town Village Audubon Park at 901-374-7342. There's no place like home, Town Village.
Now back to Wolo and Friends on Sports 56 and 98.5 FM, presented by Homer Skelton Hyundai. Here once again is the voice of the Tigers, Dave Woloshin.
Want to thank a texter for letting me know. Marv Levy, born in Chicago, by the way. Marv Levy was born 5 years after my father was born in Chicago. My father was born in 1920. Marv Levy was born in 1925. Marv Levy is 97 years old, and will be 98 August the 3rd. Man, that is incredible. Much younger, but very much retired. That would be Jarvis Greer, who joins us now. And Jarvis, I just was curious, between being an ambassador with the Showboats and your Grind City thing, Are you anywhere near what Lionel Messi is going to get from?
Oh yeah, I'm in that. I am definitely in that stratosphere. If this were the 25th century,
let me just say this:
1.6 billion.
This is the most amazing thing. He literally turned down from Saudi Arabia a 2-year, $1 billion deal. Now the guy, according to Forbes, is already worth $600 million. So he's not chopped liver. But $1 billion for 2 years, he is going to make $216 million over the next 4 years with Miami, which to me is a lot more money than I would have thought an MLS team could afford.
Well, David Beckham's got a lot of money, first of all. And I think, MLS may be chipping in to help pay some of that salary to get Lionel Messi over here to the States.
Adidas and Apple are also involved in this deal. So that money that he's getting is also coming from those two sponsors, Adidas and Apple.
Yeah. Well, they love having stars over here. My son played with Drogba at Phoenix, and he came over and got his deal was he got part ownership of Phoenix when he finally decided to leave European soccer. He was in the English Premier League, and also played over in China, I believe, for a while. And then his last go-round was here in the States in USL. So that was an amazing thing get for them. But there are a lot of former English Premier League, European soccer stars, Latin American soccer stars coming over here to play. To wind up their careers.
So many guys, that's right, exactly. It began, in my knowledge, with Pele. He was the first guy who decided at the end of the year, end of his career, I think he was in his mid to late 30s, like Messi's 35. He goes, I can't really compete with the Premier League anymore, but I can in America. And I'm beginning, and I'm curious what you think the effect will be to elevate MLS even further in our consciousness. And it's growing. There's no doubt about it. What did we look up, J-Mo? The Los Angeles MLS team was worth how much?
It was
$600 million?
Yeah, or more, wasn't it?
I was really surprised at the valuation.
Miami was 600. LA might have been like 900, I believe.
Well, and here's the other crazy
there's
thing.
Two teams in LA.
That's right.
Two teams in LA.
So listen to this. The prices in Miami for a ticket until Messi made this agreement, they were $45 to $55 for a ticket. You know what they are now to see the next game? Just to get into the place? $495. Like, that's crazy.
Well, if he shows up and plays, it'll be worth every penny for the people that are paying him, because he's the guy. He's the kind of player they want to see. There's only one Lionel Messi, and that's how many Golden Boots has he won? I can't even think of.
Oh,
he's
think
bigger even than Ronaldo.
He won the Gold Cup or whatever that's called for the MVP in a World Cup. That's the first guy ever to play in the MLS. He's won six Golden Boots.
That's right.
And it's incredible.
That is incredible, and it shows you that there's money to be made over here in the States for guys that are like, and 35 is not that. How old is LeBron? Like, he's
38. No,
right?
he's 38. LeBron's 38.
So he's 38. Now, he's not LeBron 37, 15, and 12. A few years ago, but he's still pretty doggone good. These guys still have a lot of they got some juice left in the tank, and they'll definitely put on a show over here in America to get and that's why they're getting this kind of money.
It was interesting. He made the comment, even though obviously he's going to get a lot of attention here, but he made the comment that he didn't want to go back to Barcelona, where he was, and then he had to actually leave there and go to Paris because they couldn't afford him. And he could have gone back to Barcelona. Guys were going to have to take a pay cut for him to do it. He didn't want to do that. And there was another European team that was in the same situation. And he said he did not want to be in the spotlight anymore, thinking that coming to America would soften that spotlight. I don't know if he's going to be the face of this
he'll
league.
Be in the spotlight.
Yeah.
His spotlight will be even brighter over here because everybody's going to want to see Messi. They'll be crowding the airport when the team comes in.
Well, they're going to play in Nashville. I would go to see him play in Nashville.
Yeah, he is a one-of-a-kind player indeed. And, Dave, I don't know if he's as tall as you are, but you don't have to be tall to play that sport. You just got to have tremendous skill with your feet and your head, and also be great tactician in your mind. But putting all that together.
A lot of those guys. Pele wasn't a tall guy. Maradona wasn't a tall guy.
Maradona was 5'5". Messi's 5'7".
Yeah.
And I'm right between them. I'm right between them at 5'6".
Drogba's a big dude, and he's like 6'3" and about 215. Boy, he would have made a tremendous wide receiver if he'd have played a different sport. But no, he from Ivory Coast. They were in the Olympics many times with him at the head, and these guys that that's really something. You can play in all over the world and still make even more money in your declining years than you made in your to what got you there. With your great amazing skill. And they still have great, amazing skill. So, he's got a few more years left. He's going to make as much money as he can make, and maybe he's got more morals than the PGA Tour by not going to Saudi.
Why? That's incredible. I don't know how you would have. Seriously, I guess you're already worth $600 million. Your family is staked for the next 15 generations, but
he ain't worried about it. He ain't worried about it.
But to turn down $1 billion, that's a pretty hard thing to do. And correct me if I'm wrong, but I don't think you got to pay taxes on that in Saudi, do you?
I don't know. He's already had tax problems, so I don't know how that exactly would work out. But that's just to turn it down. But like I said, I don't know what his thinking is, but if he's making a moral decision, hey, more power to him.
Since you brought it up, what did you think of this merger, this turnaround?
I had two thoughts. When I first saw it, the Kendall, the Liv, and the PGA are going to join forces at some point. I said, wow, how about that? My first thought was about the tournament here. Maybe we'll see Dustin Johnson and those guys back here. But then I thought, whoa, wait a minute. just last year, was it last year? Jay Monahan was saying, "Hey, look, this is blood money,"
right?
And they're just trying to whitewash their sins of 9/11 and Jamal Khashoggi, and I can't get next to that. That is kind of and plus one former leader of this country is involved with that business, and I just can't. There's some things that, I'll put it this way: I had some reservations about doing my Showboats gig because Fox is one of the big owners of the league, but it's Fox Sports. It's not Fox News, even though they are owned by the same person,
right,
or the same group. It's a whole separate division that doesn't get into all the rest of that stuff. So, but I don't know. It's really something to you think about it. All that money, they're getting appearance money basically. The top stars that left PGA Tour, they're getting appearance money. Plus, it's only a 3-day tournament. You're not paying 4 days of the week. And I don't know what all else they're
I'll be very curious to see how quickly they get back into the PGA fold.
What did you think, Dave? Let me ask you that.
I thought it was total hypocrisy, but I got to see more of why they did it. And maybe it was a surrender by the LIV. Maybe there won't be a LIV. I've really got to see more. I want to see how easy it's going to be for Koepka, DeChambeau, Phil to get back into the fold with the PGA. There's a lot in my mind left to be seen. Real quick, I got 30 seconds. I know you're the ambassador. I always like to accommodate you because I love you so much, Jarvo. $5 tickets? $5 tickets for the boats on Saturday?
Yeah, you can go to actionnewsfine.com, click on sports, and look for the QR code. Yeah, you can get $5 tickets to get in.
Did you do that deal? Did you make that deal?
I didn't have to make that deal, Dave. That's why I'm an ambassador, dude. There are some perks coming with that, but I got a bunch of people. A bunch of my buddies are coming. A bunch of my friends are coming to the game, and they're going to plunk it down. They're going to get that QR code on actionnewsfine.com, and some others are going to just do the $10 deal and get in and take their kids. I mean, it's a great afternoon. It's a great way to spend some time watching some good football and a hot team that's on a hot streak 5 in a row.
Yeah. And
get on a boat.
Yeah.
That's all I can say.
It really is good. Thank you, Jarvo. We'll talk to you next Thursday.
Right,
we appreciate it. That's Jarvis Greers, brought to you by the Eflin Insurance Team. They know all about making sure you're safe because they get to know you. That's insurance the collaborative way. That's what I like to say. Matt and his team, Matt Eflin, they'll sit down with you, get to know your family, get to know what your budget might be, what your needs are to be protected, and then he'll figure it out, whether it's life insurance, a home mortgage, or even an auto program. He figures it out with you. Same thing with you got a small to mid-sized business. He specializes in commercial insurance for those kinds of sizes. He gets to know your product. He gets to know your employees. Figures out what your budget is to be protected. Voila, you're taken care of. All you got to do is call this number. He's a big Tiger guy, so he has GER in it. 901-386-GER, which is 4777. Get taken care of by a guy who gets to know you. That's the Eflin Insurance way. That'll do it for us. Big show tomorrow. Paul Rogers, Andy Schiffman, Brian Dacus. We'll see you then. Johnny Radio's next.
Homer Skelton Hyundai Genesis.